So let's move to the multi-valued subquery. We have seen the scalar subquery where we're going to get the subquery, which is the child subquery is going to, or the child query is going to provide a single value, that the one we have seen in the case of the max, or anything that would return just one value, and that is scalar. But how about like for those which are returning more values? And in that case, we're going to call that kind of subquery as multi-valued subquery. Now, in order to see the example on this one, let's take a look on two examples of the tables from the AdventureWorks table, database, sorry. So the tables we're going to look at are going to be the employee and the person table. So let's take a look at them independently first. Then if I run this, then you're going to see that there are about like 19,000 records from person. And if I'm running and run this, then you're going to see like about 290 kind of rows over here. Like the number of records that we have on the employees is 290. But there is a relationship between the person and employee on that of the business entity ID. So one way to look on how that is happening is, or how to know like if there is a relationship or not, is on the database diagram. If you right click on it and then just do the new diagram, and then from here, let's search for so that's going to be the employee, and then I'm going to add that. Let me close this. If I right click on this one and then go to the relationship, and then here you would see that there is an employee person business entity ID. And if I go to that of the table and column specific, the one that we're looking at is the employee, which is the current table that I'm looking at. And then also we have another, which is from the person. And then you can see the foreign key from the employee is business entity ID, and the primary or the unique ID on the person is going to be the business entity ID. And then that's how the relationship between the employee and the person is going to be related. Now, if we do that, then we can, like, let's say if we want to see all the first name and the last name of the employees, then we have to hook them up to that of the person table, because on this one we don't have any first name or last name. So the way we do it on using the join is, so this is how we're going to do it. If I run this one, since it is the inner join, it's going to return only 250 rows over here. But you can see that this is just a normal join. There is no any anything different from this one. But the thing is, we can rewrite this using the subquery as well. So this one is using join, and using subquery, using subquery is the way how we do that one is we're going to have like a parent and the child queries. So let me have the select from person, that person, that's one going to that person as the parent table, and then where the business entity ID in, actually I can have this, and let me have with the asterisk first, and then see what the problem is. From, let me get rid of this one, from human resource dot employee. This is not going to work, but let's see what the problem is. But before we run into that one, like, let me explain what we're trying to do. So all we want to do is trying to do the subquery. We want to replicate the same kind of a join and then get the same result. Now what we do is, but we know that the person table and the employee table are hooked on the business entity ID. Like there is a column on person and the column on the employee, which is called the business entity ID. So where the business entity ID is, then we're going to select or provide many values from the employee. But if I try to do with the asterisk, this is not going to work, but I want to show you. So if I run this one, then I'm going to get only one expression can be specified in the select list when subquery is not introduced with exist. So exist is the one we're going to see next, which is on the correlated one. So on this one, the way how we're going to fix it is we're going to pass only one column, and then that's going to provide like multiple values. That's how the multi-valued is going to be coming from. So here we're going to have the business entity ID. So if I try to run this only, and let's say I run this one, with this guy. And if I try to run this, you can see there are 290 rows, but only from the business entity ID. So all we want to do is we want to provide this into the business entity ID of the person, and then we're going to get the value out of it. So here, if I do this and then run that, then we're going to get exactly the same kind of result as we were using that of the join. So we can rewrite that of the join with the subquery counterpart using the multi-valued. So we can get the same kind of the join result using that of the subquery in such manner.